In this video, we'll talk about nighttime driving. That's coming right up. Hey, this is Shine from Zula Driving School, and let's get right into talking about nighttime driving. So here are some tips to help make your next nighttime drive safer. Starting with, always turn on your headlights at nighttime. Here in British Columbia, you're legally required to have them on 30 minutes after sunset, all the way up to 30 minutes prior to sunrise if you're driving. Now, if you're driving on an unlit road, you may turn on your high beams if there are no cars approaching or in front of you. However, you need to turn off your high beams if another car is approaching and is within 150 meters of you. Now, if you have a hard time gauging how far 150 meters is, then just turn off the high beams as soon as you come across another vehicle in front of you, either traveling in the same direction as you or oncoming traffic. By the way, if you're ever bothered by headlights of a vehicle behind you, adjust your rear view mirror to nighttime driving position. It's got a little flick on it on most vehicles, so when you adjust the mirror, you can flick it and it will reflect the light off the ceiling of the car, and then you won't get the glare from their headlights. Some cars have the automatic adjustment, so there's nothing that you need to do. In addition, sometimes your own vehicle headlights can create glare. If that happens, what you can do is increase your following distance from the car in front of you so as to reduce the glare caused from the reflection off of the vehicle in front of you. If an oncoming car has their high beams on and it's making it difficult for you to see, don't look into their light. Focus on the right side of your lane so that you can still know where your lane is until the car passes by. If you notice any sudden movements, moving on, if you notice any sudden and unusual spots of light on the road at night, it may be a reflection of your headlights off an animal's eyes. If you spot an animal, check your rear view mirror to see who's behind you before applying the brakes. Now let's talk a little bit about the light switch controls on your vehicle. Most car light switch controls have two settings. The first setting turns on the tail lights, the license plate lights, the side marker lights, and the dashboard lights. The second position controls the headlights. If you're temporarily stopped somewhere and you want to make sure your car is visible at nighttime, then you would use the first setting. However, you need to turn on your headlights, essentially the second setting, if you're moving. Now, most cars built after 1991 are equipped with daytime running lights. These lights come on when you turn your vehicle on, but they're not the same thing as your low beams, so don't drive during the night with them. Now, let's move on to pedestrian safety. It can be really hard to spot pedestrians at nighttime, especially with all the dark colored clothing they sometimes wear. So look ahead and scan sidewalks, crosswalks, and around parked cars carefully. And it's the same thing with cyclists. Some cyclists may not have lights, reflectors, or reflective gear, even though in BC, bikes must be equipped with white headlights that are visible at 150 meters and need to have rear red light and a rear red reflector. But nevertheless, if they don't, you as a driver need to be vigilant. Moving on to motorcycles. They can be harder to see at nighttime, and it can be a challenge to judge how fast they're approaching. So if you're turning left at an intersection, look out for oncoming motorcycles, and if you're not sure how fast they're closing in on you, you may decide to wait in your waiting position until you know that it's safe to go. Let's move on to talking about construction zones. They can be active any time of day and night, so pay extra attention if you see a posted construction zone speed limit. Don't assume that it's not in effect. Now that we're on the topic of speed, let's talk about it a bit. At nighttime, you should be able to stop in the distance lit by your headlights. Any faster and you would not be able to make a full stop until it's too late. Now imagine for a second, add to the nighttime visibility a bit of rain and a few passengers telling jokes and having a good time, and it can be really hard for you to focus on the road. If you're having a hard time concentrating, it may be a good idea to tell your fellow passengers that you're having a hard time focusing, and if they could defer the conversation until you're not driving so you can join in on the fun as well. Most passengers would prefer not to be in a vehicle that has a distracted driver, so they will happily comply. Now, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe to our videos on YouTube. In addition, we offer an online video training course on our website at www.zula.ca. In that course, we show you actual footage of nighttime driving and how we deal with it. Be sure to check it out. Also, it's one thing for me to stand here and talk to you about nighttime driving. It's another for you to get out there with your driving instructor or your co-ed driver and drive at night. Thank you, and I hope to see you in another video soon.